Hey guys, so last night we just got some very good footage of the new Chimp that was released to Maxi Boost, which is indeed Full Saber, and I'm just kind of like, what the fuck is this thing? You know, it has like crazy ass mobility and insane cancel routes. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is pretty much going over each of his abilities, or at least the abilities I have found myself by looking over the gameplay clips shown in Gundam Vs.'s videos on his channel. So let's first start off with the main gun. So when you guys take a look at the weapon, it has about 6 bullets or so, and the CSA for it resembles Neutral Extreme Gundam's CSA before it turns into any of its variations. So what I like to say about this is that the weapon itself, or the main gun to be more specific, can be cancelled off into sub-weapon or AC, and I believe the special melee, which is pretty insane. So it's sort of like having an Exia, or at least having the blessing of Exia's cancel routes, combined with Double Quanta, which will just generally create a pretty insane melee mobile suit overall. And as for the sub-weapon, I sort of see like a trend going on here where players will just send out the sub-weapon itself and then cancel off into main gun, or just use the sub-weapon to cancel off into special melee. That's pretty much what I'm seeing here and most of the clips featured in the videos. So it seems like that is a pretty reliable method of using the sub-weapon. So another thing I would like to mention about this sub-weapon is that unlike Avalanche Exia, you can actually have it track towards the enemy, which kind of pissed everybody off about Avalanche Exia in the first place, because people are having really big trouble playing Avalanche due to his abilities not being easy to use compared to Full Saber. So if this guy just so happens to come to full boost, it will please a lot of people. But you know, honestly for me, I really wish they do not add any more DLC to full boost, because honestly this game is fucked. It really is, because you have people running around sand rocks, full armor unicorns, tall geese 2s. It's just, this game is in a state of unbalance. Like, it really is unbalanced right now, because all the mobile suits, I like to call them vanilla mobile suits, you know, suits that were added before, or the original suits with the game, you know, like those suits are pretty much like half of them are incapable of going against maxi suits, which is pretty bullshit. I mean, if you really look at it in terms of suit aspects or suit utility of the vanilla suits versus the maxi suits will stomp on them, which is pretty sad, unfortunately. But yeah, anyways, let's move on to the Jirobi. So this weapon is pretty close to broken, if not already, because if you guys take a close look at when it's used in the footage, you'll notice that it has some insane ass muzzle correction, because you will use that and you will hit people ridiculously easily. Like, I'm not even kidding. And also the startup time for the weapon is also really freaking fast, which is pretty unusual for a Jirobi on a melee mobile suit. And the second ability for Full Saber's AC is the ability that you probably have already seen on 7th Sword, which is indeed his CSA, where it shoots out that little beam cutter thing. I don't know how to exactly describe that, but it is very similar to 7th Sword CSA. So yeah guys, this is pretty much the ultimate melee chimpanzee that we've all been waiting for, essentially. And also, on a side note, I believe this guy can quantumize while he's transdammed as well, but in the footage it doesn't really show him doing it, because he always tries to, or at least the players always try to attack while they're transdammed, so we didn't really get to see it. But I do believe he can quantumize, so he also has that extra defensive modifier or defensive utility within the transdam itself still, which is pretty insane. And one last thing that I forgot to mention is that he can do this weird ass quantumization melee combo thing where he can just kill people or attack people boostless, which is pretty fucked up. Like, he'll just strike somebody, quantumize, strike them, rinse and repeat, and just like, what the hell is that? Maybe it's like a melee hit and then they use 2B to do it. I'm not very you know, sure about that, but seriously, like, what the heck? That's pretty odd for a melee mobile suit to have an ability where they can melee somebody without running out of boost, or at least requiring it to have boost in the first place. But yeah, anyways, let's move on to his special melee. And obviously his 4-6 allows him to go in the left or right direction very quickly, and I believe his neutral one is the famous shield charge, where he rushes towards the enemy, and if somebody shoots him, a little shield bit thing will pop out of like nowhere and just guard him. So I wonder if it's restricted depending on, or it just has like a damage restriction, as in like if it takes too much damage it cancels out. but I don't think it does. So yeah, I don't really know what to say about this when it's fighting against mobile suits like Wing Zero EW, because it seems like mobile suits like Wing Zero EW will be fucked if they fight Full Saber, because it doesn't really have good melee to use against Full Saber, and Full Saber will just go on town on the Wing Zero EW. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see for more gameplay clips, because these 3 gameplay clips that I've watched didn't really show me as much as I wanted to see it, really. So yeah, like I said before, we just have to wait. But yeah guys, that just about does it for this little analyzation thing, or whatever you want to call it, for Full Saber. I really want to know what you guys think about this suit, because honestly, this is what I want melee suits to be in Maxi Boost, but you know, a little bit toned down, because this guy is just kind of out there, you know. He seems a little bit OP, if you guys know what I mean. But yeah, like I said before, let me know how you guys feel about this mobile suit, because I certainly like it, but I don't know how I would feel if this guy came to full boost and people started using it all over the place, because it's a false sign of power. Like, you can't, if you think you're good using this guy, then you're gonna be like delusional, because this guy is just like a huge powerhouse. Like, I don't think you even need to be good to use this guy, because he just seems kind of just he requires no difficulty to even use, honestly, judging from his abilities and how fast and fluent his mobility is, and just all his cancel routes. It's just crazy. But yeah guys, that just about does it for this video. Please leave a like if you enjoy it, and I will see you guys later.
High